Lawin Media Network,
bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Season 6 of Pink Table Talk. I'm your host, Dr. Carly D., a doctorally prepared registered nurse, award-winning educator, author, public speaker, and community advocate. The show is produced by Lawin Media Network, and I'm so happy to be able to bring you guys some new things this season. We have a brand new set. We have some beautiful flowers, beautiful graphics. Thank you for this beautiful logo created by Kimberly Nicole Consulting. It's so beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm loving this fresh, new season that we're bringing to you guys. This season, we're going to have a lot of great and exciting guests, bringing more inspiring stories for you guys, and also bringing some fun things like dance and meditation and breath work. And we're also going to talk about skincare, health, and beauty this season. So definitely check us out. Every Wednesdays, we're live at 7 o'clock Central. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, Amazon, Apple, all of the podcast platforms. So tonight we have with us the multi-talented Kaptivator Wilson. She is the owner and operator of Tha Concerned Human. She is also a member of Gamma Alpha Psi fraternity. And so tonight we're going to have a wonderful discussion with her. So everybody, welcome to the show, Kaptivator.
As the crowd goes wild.
Yes, I'm sure everybody's cheering online. So welcome to the show. I'm so glad I finally get to sit down and talk with you and have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes. So talk to us about who is Kaptivator. Where are you from? What's your upbringing like?
Come from a normal background. I guess we can say normal these days. Originally from the Midwest, from Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Relocated, work brings you around the world. Played basketball. Basketball took me one side of the world, then work took me to the other side of the world. Landed here in Texas, due to a couple promotions, and have set down roots here. Been here about 4 years.
Okay.
But definitely been just moving and shaking since I got here, whether it's been in the community, in my organization, whatever it is. So now, not only just the concerned human, but that's a multifaceted aspect of who I am, I guess you could say.
Wonderful. That's really great. So what position did you play when you played basketball?
I actually played the 1 through the 4, depending on what school, what avenue I was in. Went all the way through college.
Okay.
Summer ball like normal people. Got my scholarship through college, went overseas for a couple years, came back, played some semi-pro in the States, and then you got to realize, are you gonna that's before the WNBA times got big, where you can get endorsements and paychecks and things like that. So you got to decide, are you gonna make a living or continue to do what you love? And at that time I had to switch over from the sport. So.
You have to have some paychecks.
Yes, definitely. A little bit bigger paycheck.
Money.
A little bit bigger paycheck.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting though. What was some of your favorite places that you traveled to during that time?
My favorite would probably be Switzerland. In the winter, not the summer. I know some people are not cold people, but the winter, the snows there are definitely different than the normal snow that you would see. Other than that, Europe is just beautiful any time of the season, but Switzerland would definitely be my favorite that I've been overseas.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Did you do any skiing while you're there?
No, you get enough of that growing up in the Midwest. You don't have to go experience it, everywhere else. So definitely, no, it was just there.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that you played basketball and had an exciting overseas career. So that's cool.
Yep. Foundation, teamwork, and discipline, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great foundation to start from. So what made you create The Concerned Human? What was the inspiration behind that?
It started from just being the activism side of myself. I've been a member, as you said, of Gamma Alpha Psi for this will be 17 years. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And it just being able to help people on the other side, understanding that no one is always advocating for who we are in general. When you walk in, I've always been in corporate America. So when you walk into corporate America, you're already walking in with 2 or 3 strikes as our people. So it's one of those, how can I expand? How can I be different? Always had a creative background, whether it was creating backdrops in school, whether it was creating uniforms, jerseys, like there was always the creative side of me, taking pictures, DJing, like there was always that. So it's one of those, like you said, as you get older, how do you feed into yourself as opposed to continue to feed into other people when you continue to walk into rooms and you're already getting judged? So I just took that and was like, you know what? Everybody always say, you're always so concerned about what's going on. You know what? You right. And I'm gonna make it a brand and I'm gonna use it for me. And I'm gonna use it to my advantage. And I just started, different things that I would see, putting them out on social media platforms, different quotes, different sayings, different stories, different little short live reels. And people just started saying, hey, we look forward to kind of a different perspective. So, I turned into The Concerned Human. And then that's when I realized, you know what, it's a whole brand. It's not just one thing that I do. So let's do the right way, right, that we don't always get brought up saying, and turn it into a business as opposed to just something floating out there for somebody else to steal.
No, that's great. I love that you turned, something that you're going through and put it into something positive. And then actually turned it into a brand. So what were some of those things that were concerning you in corporate America?
That part. The kind of your work ethic, your experience doesn't necessarily get you to where you need to be. You can work just as hard as the person next to you, but that person next to you have a connection with whoever is the hiring person, and they're going to automatically get that position. We used to laugh growing up that sometimes those resumes, and I seen it from my management side, that a name on a resume can kind of get you in the door. But then once you get in the door, what are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? So it's one of those, even the name getting you in the door for the interview, now you're still with strikes against you, and you're working just as hard or harder than the person sitting next to you, and you're still not getting the same accolades, the same paycheck, the same perks, the same different discipline and stuff like that. So I was just like, there's got to be a different way to fight. There's got to be a different way to help and assist those people that are working just as hard as I am, trying to get into those different avenues. So that's definitely where it started, and it's kind of, like I said, grown from there, from just that simple sitting down at a desk type vision, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's very good. And you make a lot of sense with that. We definitely do see a lot of nepotism in the corporate world and in healthcare too. I can say from my own experience, I've seen that as well. And then other people just helping their friends out, their kids go to school with the other kid and they get this job offers, and and so it kind of leaves some of us out of that. So you mentioned names. That's very interesting. In the Black community, we do have some colorful names.
Definitely.
My mom always said, you got to be careful what you name your children, because it could make or break them when they're, applying for jobs. So speaking of names, what is your real name?
Look, I have a very basic name. My name is Tina. So it's very basic. It gets me in the door in every avenue. They see the degrees, they see the accolades, they see the experience. So it definitely gets me in the door. My work ethic keeps me in the door, but it doesn't always elevate me to the space that I necessarily should be or deserve to be from working just as hard as that. So
yes. Wow, I would have never guessed Tina.
Simple. It's real simple.
Yes, so very simple, but it's a nice name though.
Very simple.
Also, what I've noticed, I'm from New York City, And moving here to the South, I noticed that a lot more Black women in the workplace have their natural hairstyles. You know, I see dreadlocks, I see braids. However, in New York, we really couldn't get away with wearing braids. We were seen as unprofessional, especially if you had dreadlocks. A lot of people were turned away from jobs. So I noticed you have these beautiful locks. So did that ever prevent you from getting jobs, or did you find it difficult or challenging to have your natural hair accepted?
So yes and no. This is year 11 that I've had them. My hair was actually this long in a good old roller wrap with the perm, with the whole, you know, that every child goes through, sitting there with the hot comb and the blue magic and all that good fun stuff. Exactly. You know, the live, all those good things that we use. I definitely went through that stage. But I realized that regardless of what my hair looks like, regardless of what my outfit looks like, regardless of anything, I can walk in with a paper bag and have a hand showing. I'm still going to walk in with a strike. So at the end of the day, am I going to walk in with these strikes and be happy with myself? Or am I going to walk in with these strikes and hate myself when I walk out the door? I literally walked in with hair this long one day, came back the next day and my hair was cut off and I had started my dread process. It was literally that drastic of a change for me, because I reached a point where I was like, I can conform to a sense to the corporate America, but I have to in some way be happy with myself when I walk out of this job. You see what I'm saying? So I started that, and I think I shocked them, and that was the purpose and the point. But my point also was, no matter what's on my head, no matter what length of my hair it is, my work ethic does not change because of how I wear my hair. You know what I mean? So I definitely did the shock value, and like I said, long hair one day, cut off the next day. But I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. It's 11 years just like this, and I appreciate it and have learned to appreciate even more every single day.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I love the dreadlocks and you know, the locks that I see here. I've been thinking about my own lock journey. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Probably.
I say do it. I tell everybody do it. Do it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And then there's something freeing about it too. I feel that you're kind of letting go of, you know, the European standards too, when you know, start your lock journey. So I think that's really great. You mentioned your work ethic and how that even no matter how your appearance is, that your work ethic has always spoken for you. So tell us, what is your work ethic?
You know, the typical African American work ethic that we get preached. You put your head down and you do what you're supposed to do, regardless of what's going on around you. You get the job done by fault sometimes, you know, and that's why I said I realized that from a young age of my mom was in the same job for 19 years. My dad was in the same job for 21 years. They both retired and got another job and was in that job for 11 years. My uncle was a firefighter for 30 years. So coming from that background of longevity in the workplace, not just job hopping, you know, you get careers, not jobs type things. I realized that it's already instilled in me to have that longevity. It's already instilled in me to do what's necessary to get to the goal that I want to in position. So that's why I was like, it's not something that I have to learn. You can't teach work ethic. I tell everybody at the end of the day, you cannot teach someone how to have a work ethic. So I've already have this for other people. Nothing is going to stop it for myself. If anything, because it's for me, and I can see the goal, I know the goal, it's going to make me work even harder. So I've definitely, you know, like I said, it's been instilled in me since I was a little one of out there playing ball. If you want to play, you got to go practice. So we practicing for 5 hours on a Saturday morning instead of watching cartoons type thing. So it's definitely me. You put your head down, you do what you need to do, and you continue until you end it, you know?
Yeah, that's great. That's good. I think it's also generational too. I feel like that work ethic has diminished over the generations. I know, like you said, our parents, like they worked at the same job for 15, 20, 30 years. My mom worked at the same job for over 30 years. She always would come home complaining about how awful they were treating her, but she never quit. She
put her head down and worked.
Yeah, she put her head down and worked until she could retire, you know? What do you feel the work ethic is like with this younger generation now that we're seeing?
Work to the least amount of hours you can to get the most money you can. I think our generation, the newer generation, is trying to create the wheel of how you can get paid without working.
Yes,
and you know, when they create it, let me know so I can reverse some of the years. But I definitely, you know, you don't find too many of our newer generation that have that same head down work ethic.
No, they don't. They quit. They'll quit on the same day. They'll quit the next day. Like you said, they want to do less and get paid. And unfortunately, social media has made it easier for them. They are the TikTok generation. They can go create a dance and get sponsors and never have to go back to work.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's really great. So we're off to a great start. We're going to go ahead with our first commercial break of the evening, but everybody stay tuned for more Pink Table Talk with Kaptivator.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Welcome back to Pink Table Talk. The show is produced by Lawin Media Network, and you can catch us live every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central and on all podcast platforms. Tonight, we're talking with Kaptivator Wilson. So you believe that there's no unity without community. So talk to us now about your fraternity. Talk to us about the history of it and who can be a member of this fraternity.
Gotcha. Gamma Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I definitely gotta keep that incorporated because not everybody gets that. Is an official 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have been around this June. It will be 20 years that we have been around in the community. Nice. Started just as our four founders since the void, kind of how I started, you know, just in my individual journey. They sensed the void. Four individuals just at a college playing ball, realizing that when you don't have your basketball community, like there's really no one else for you to hang out with. When you're an athlete, you kind of stuck with the same type of individuals as the same people. How do you branch out? How do you create a community for us? All African American, mass presenting LGBT individuals, and they just, like I said, we're looking for something to produce a community other than just the sports community. So they were like, hey, we don't feel comfortable pledging these other Divine Nine organizations on campus, but we also don't want to create a mockery of what they have brought to the world in reference to their foundation. But we want something that looks like us. So they created Gamma Alpha Psi, had some mentorship from some of the Kappa Sweethearts, which a lot of people know of. And it's been going strong and expanding ever since. We have members in multiple states. We do the same kind of scenarios that you would see for the Divine Nine. We have probates, we have pledge seasons, but it's all centered in community service. You can't remain active as a member if you don't do certain community service hours per month, per year. So that helps drive us as an organization, which also helps, like I said, bridge the gap in that community for people that don't necessarily understand the LGBT community or even a masculine individual. And when I say masculine individual, for those that may not know, a masculine presenting female that walks into a room, you know, there's always a stigma, one of those strikes that you kind of get against you. But we have business owners, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have people that have practices that, you know, are actual business professionals. And it's funny because a lot of our younger members that come into it, their parents get to see the other side because they haven't seen it from their kids going through college, high school. They're used to them being in trouble. They're used to them being out, you know, partying and stuff like that. So they get to see the other side and see their kid kind of transform with us. So like I said, anyone 18 or older, that is a mask presenting or trans man can join our organization. And the goal is, like I said, just to create a community to just bridge that gap between the community, and then also just to create a sense of unity within our own people, to just kind of have somewhere to feel comfortable, to have those conversations, to when you're in that struggle, in the drama, you know, how can you get out of it? Because not everyone understands. You know, your normal friends, you can't necessarily pick up the phone and they've been through those situations. So you're like, well, I don't know what to do now. And they end up in trouble as opposed to calling someone that is that professional. So that's definitely who we are. And we enjoy every single moment of it that we get to experience it. Definitely.
Yes. And I saw y'all were out there for the MLK parade on Monday, all in that green. That green looked nice. You know, green goes well with pink. It's a Wicked reference in case you don't know.
Definitely.
But yeah, so what other types of community service events have you guys done or have planned for this upcoming year?
Definitely. Last year we just did a recap. So last year from January to May, we actually partnered with a mental health facility and was able to offer residents of Texas, not just Houston, Texas, free mental health care for 6 months.
That's great.
We have a mental health initiative in April. Every April we remain sober because we appreciate those people who have went through that fight. That is something we do every single year. We go sober for April because we understand that 72% of the LGBT community fights that battle. So we stand with them. We do a annual flip flop, which we have coming up in March in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We call it Women's Appreciation because we always do it during Women's History Month. We understand that, yes, we always 95% of the time present as mask presenting. But the people that we may date, marry, don't necessarily always present as mask presenting. But it takes a lot to do the hair, the makeup, the nails, and all that stuff. So we take our time. We show appreciation once a year. We flip the script and we do the full out hair, nails, makeup, heels. 100%. We commit 100% because we do appreciate what it is and what it takes to be a woman in America in general. But our platforms, like we said, the MLK parade, like you said, we've done the Pride parade. We've been all over in different states. Mental health is a big one. Mentoring youth is a big one. So anything that we can do. We had a mentorship program last year. We also opened a suicide help hotline last year that we did during Suicide Awareness Month. Anything that we can do in the community. We partner a lot with New Orleans Black Pride, doing different initiatives and helping and pushing people forward. So like I said, anybody in the community that we can reach out to, we help. We hope to do more this year. We are now an official member of the LGBT Chamber of Commerce of Houston, Texas.
That's great.
So we're hoping that connection can help us get out more in the community and help the community. And that's why we say there is no unity without community, because you can't, like, you have to have both to coexist. We can't coexist as an organization and impact without our community, and the community, has to feed into our unity as we present our organization to be able to coexist with them. So we definitely try to do as much as we can throughout the community.
Sounds like you guys are doing a lot, and I love it because you talked a lot about unity, and in the spirit of MLK's legacy, I think you guys are honoring that with all of the service that you guys are doing, especially the mental health.
Yes.
I feel like Houston really lacks in a lot of resources with the mental health. So I appreciate that you guys are out there, doing things for that community.
Oh yeah, definitely. We hope to evolve it. Our Louisiana chapter does monthly meetings. We call them a Wind Down Wednesday, and we bring in therapists and doctors, and it's just an open forum for people to come in and feel comfortable and ask those questions that you may not feel comfortable laying down on the couch, as people say, and asking. We're hoping to expand that to Houston, so that we can continue that. But anything to do with mental health for us, because we understand as a community, Black, Brown, LGBT, you don't always feel comfortable seeking that help. So how can we help? How can we present it in a different way that doesn't feel like your grandmother telling you, don't go tell nothing outside the house. You know what I mean? That old stigma. So we try to present it in a way that helps our community and helps people want to reach out to understand that it is okay to not be okay sometimes. You know what I mean?
It's true. There's a lot of stigma behind mental health, and then even stigma behind receiving treatment for mental health. I know a lot of people still don't want to talk about it, especially at work, whether they're going to therapy or on any medication. I'm really hoping in the next few years that we can really destigmatize those stereotypes around mental health. I think COVID helped us to kind of see the impact of mental health struggles. But they've been here for a long time. Like you said,
Definitely.
the grandparents said, "Oh, don't talk about it," or "Oh, you don't have no depression. You're just a little melancholy or something."
Definitely.
So I think it's important because we are still seeing a lot of people struggle with anxiety, depression, like you said, addictions. And then suicidal ideation, so it's important that you guys are doing that. So if somebody is in need and they are a mass presenting female, how can they reach out and get some of those mental health resources?
You can definitely check any of our social medias, and all of our social medias, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, is Gamma Alpha Psi. I'm sorry, Facebook is the only one that's Gamma Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. All the rest of them are Gamma Alpha Psi. You can check our website at www.gammaalphapsi.org, or feel free to hit up any of our members. We are very transparent. We are an open book. We understand when you are transparent and you present the facts, whether they're good, bad, or ugly to people, they feel more comfortable having those conversations. They feel more comfortable in your presence. So you can definitely check any of our social medias, but if you don't feel comfortable, reaching out on a anonymous platform like that because you don't know who's on the other side of it, feel free to reach one of our members in any of our states. It will definitely get to the right person. Like I said, in our organization, we have doctors, we have, people that can assist. And we also have people that we can connect you to get you help that it doesn't even, we don't have to be involved with it. Like I said, we offered 6 months free healthcare, and that had nothing to do with us. It was giving you a number so that you could be anonymous and not feel like I'm telling someone that I know or that I'm in the same, community with. So please reach out. Feel free. Understand, like I said, it is okay to not be okay. And sometimes the best step that you can do is just admit it and then let someone else help you from there. You know what I mean? It's not always you trying to figure out what the problem is and how to fix it. Sometimes you just need to admit that there is a problem and someone else can assist you and take you in whatever direction you want to. So please feel free. Any of our platforms, any of my platforms, please feel free to reach out if you feel or have a question or just anything.
Yes, there is no shame in seeking help if you are struggling with mental health issues. So definitely feel free to reach out. And 6 months of help, that's really great. That's wonderful. That can definitely get you over whatever crisis or challenges you might be facing. So for mass presenting females, what are some of those unique challenges that you face?
A lot of it becomes in society and the workplace. Those different stigmas that like I said, those strikes. When you walk in and you're dressed as you are in corporate America, and a lot of us are in corporate America, you're not recognized, one, because you're, an African American female or a female presenting in general. It doesn't have to be an African American. You're female presenting. So it's already one strike in corporate America. Then you present in the same suit and tie that the other manager or, high level official does. Now it's another strike. You're educated because most of the time, if you've gotten to that level, you have a degree or two, or a couple certificates. So now you're walking in with those 2 or 3 strikes. So we help people navigate how to navigate through those situations. We help people in reference to giving you a community that has dealt with all of those situations. But that's not just, I don't want people to feel like we're so put together, that we haven't been through stuff. Please understand that we do. We could sit you in a room and have testimony after testimony after testimony of people who have started, fighting every night in the club, been to jail, dealing with this different stuff. But those people are now professionals because they've, just like I said before, sometimes it's not knowing what to do. It's just simply saying, okay, I know I don't want this anymore. I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want this. So we help navigate with those mentorships, with those apprenticeships, with, it might even be as simple as, hey, I know somebody over here that's looking for someone that has a job. Like your talent can get you into there, and then we'll move you up from there. So that's the community that we provide. As well as just, like I said, breaking down those stigmas in the community. Just like you said, what do we have? The stigmas in general. You can list 150 of them if you wanted to, depending on what part of your life you're in, how old you are, you know what I mean? There's subcategories in that. So we just assist with that in those, kind of stigmas that you have.
Yeah, that's wonderful though. I love that you guys are out there supporting that community because they probably didn't have that in previous generations. So I'm loving that this is now something that's coming up because, that typically in that community, you did see a lot of depression and suicide. And so this is a great way to kind of support people in that community.
Yes.
So now the important question is, for the flip-flop, are you wearing heels?
Yes, those who know me and who have seen my social media know that I do wear heels. I am one of the ones that will be in heels all night. And we don't do, there's a few of us, we have a rule. If it's not 6 inches or better, it's not a heel.
Oh my.
So we definitely will. I definitely will. Like I said, we go full out, full force. I know people believe because we don't wear heels every day that we can't walk in them. Yes, we can. We just choose not to walk in them. So yes, I will. I told people, I laugh and say I would do, the whole 40-inch, but unfortunately I already have a 45-inch with the dreads, so I have to go a little bit longer, so we're still working on that, but definitely I will have the heels on full out. We do full makeup, we do full, but we do have people that do the lace fronts over their dreads. Like we go into it. We want people to know that, yes, we appreciate it.
I am her.
Yeah, very much so. We're still females at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We choose to be mass presenting, but we're still females at the end of the day, and we want to make sure we show our genuine appreciation and not just halfway do it. So.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to see pictures. I know you're going to look fabulous. So we're going to go to our second commercial break of the evening right now, but everybody stay tuned for more Pink Table Talk with Kaptivator.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lawin sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel. Filing taxes, dealing with tax debt, or facing IRS actions is stressful, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 832-674-0829 or visit www.taxresolutionesq.com.
No, they're still legends.
Okay.
I don't do platforms. They just want me in some thigh-high boots this year, and I'm just
That's funny.
Why, y'all?
Or chunky boots.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Welcome back to Pink Table Talk. We're talking tonight with Kaptivator. Before we went on break, we were talking about her community service and mental health initiatives, working with her fraternity, Gamma Alpha Psi. Okay, great.
That's all.
There's so many letters. There's so many Greek organizations. I got to keep them straight, you know. And so you are also an author.
Yes.
So talk to us about your book and your upcoming book.
Currently working on a book called From Paycheck to Purpose. Excited about that one. Definitely about the journey to the concerned human is basically what it is. Currently I have a 30-day self-help transformation guide that is out. It's a self-reflective journal. It's called Manifesting a New Mindset. And sometimes it just takes you stopping and thinking about different things. It's filled with quotes. It's filled with exercises. And the quotes are meant to just make you think outside the box, right?
Nice.
It kind of twists and shapes the sentences and the words and the phrases in terms of maybe things that you wouldn't have thought about. But that helps you go through the exercises of thinking outside the box of what you thought you were, right? Because we always have that idea of how we are, how we operate, how we this. But sometimes the self-reflecting is the hard part, or the not wanting to hear the truth from others. Doesn't always help, but sometimes if you hear it from yourself, you can't run from it, right? You can't run from what you don't attack.
People try to.
You can't run from what you don't address. So like I said, it's 30 days. It gives you a page each day to go through. I tell people, get it, work through it, whether it's your morning routine. Some people have that time where they sit and read and drink their tea or coffee. Some people do it in the night. Just carve out 20-30 minutes of your time to just self-reflect and get to yourself. It's not, like I said, it's on Amazon. You can get it off my website. You can get it off Amazon as well. Just look up Kaptivator Wilson on Amazon. There's a big copy for those that like bigger copies. There's a smaller pocketbook copy if you like that.
Nice.
2 options. It's also, like I said, on my website. But I tell people it's not to expensive to invest in yourself, right? We invest. You can go stand in line for 2 hours for Jordans. You can go wait for that Nike app to drop them new shoes. You can wait for the Louis Vuitton. You can wait for all of these things that you have to save up for to get, or wait in line, or whether it's a movie, a show, a club. But we don't take time to invest in ourselves, and I think sometimes we waste money on frivolous things where we could kind of put it back into ourselves. So definitely go check it out.
Yes, I know. I definitely used to waste a lot more money. Even like my Starbucks a day habit that I used to have. I was like, oh, at that time it was $5 a day. Now it's like can run you $7 a day for just even a little grande. But like some years ago, I was like, you know what? Let me save this money and put it towards like another class or a training program, or like you said, like a self-help book. And I started to use that money. Those little bit adds up, and I started to invest in myself. And I was like, oh, I have more peace now, and I feel better. Like, I think all that stress, and like I would treat myself with those little things, and it added up.
I tell people all the time, take one want out of your life, right? We all have wants and needs. Take one want out of your life and realize, like you said, that Starbucks was just something you wanted every morning. It might be the Jordans, or maybe it's not Jordans for some people. Maybe it's, I got to eat out once a week. I got to do this. Take that want out of your life and put it into a need pot, and you'll realize that you might need a trip. Well, you saved these 3 months, and now you have a trip. Now you have a class. Now you have something to do. You've always wanted to start a hobby. Well, now you got a couple extra $100 to start this hobby that you didn't have to do. So take one of your wants and turn it into a need, and you'll realize that it's a lot less peaceful. It's a lot more, happy of just accomplishment, because you realize that you've done something yourself and you haven't needed someone else to do it. So it's turned from a want to a need.
Yeah, definitely the eating out part too. And I had cut back on that and started cooking more. And then I was able to use it for travel. And so I'm like, oh, I'm finally going to places that I enjoy, or even events. So I love doing events, going to different places. I don't like to sit at home all the time. And so, all that eating out money, if you add it up, if you eat out a few times a week, that's a few $100s a month. And so after 6 months, that's a whole cruise right there,
Tell people all the time. They be like, no, I can't afford. You can afford it. You just, you don't want to afford it at this time. That's the difference.
It's self-control. They need that self-control.
Very much.
So what inspired you to make a self-help book?
I was looking for something to go through myself, transition that time in life, right? Everybody has that time when you question, like, what is it that I'm supposed to do? I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but what is it that I want to do? Like, I need more peace. I need to know myself more. And every book that I looked at, every journal I looked at, I was like, no, I want this journal to go with this journal, and I need these 2 parts over here to go with these 3 parts, and I need, you know what? I can't find it. And again, instead of wasting my money on something, let me invest in myself and just create it. Because what I want is probably a couple of things that a few other people have looked at and said the same thing, complained about too. So I did it, and I was going through an exercise, and it took me about 6 months to just say, okay, what is it that I do? What is it that I question every day? Let me start writing this down. Even with the social media, right? The different thoughts and quotes that would pop in my head, I'd put them out there, and people would text me and say, I ain't never thought about it like that. Or that's interesting. Or I'd be waking up waiting for you to send me a quote with the concerned human in the morning. So I was like, okay, clearly it's not just me. You know what I mean? Let's put this down on paper and let's figure it out. And so putting it, I think the hardest part was putting it out to the world. I don't think the hardest part was writing it and creating it. It was putting it out to the world. And that's that last step of, okay, I can't continue to be fearful for not winning for myself. If this was somebody else at work, I would hit send on that email really quick and I'd be fine. But it's because it's my name, I have to put it out there type situation. So definitely.
No, it's true. I'm going through my own book journey right now, and I'm like at the end, but it's still this kind of like hesitancy and like feeling almost a vulnerability too. Did you feel that way also?
Definitely. That's not so much with that one, because I felt like it was kind of self-explanatory in the essence of people aren't necessarily judging my journey. It's more so they're reflecting on their own. But it did feel that way because, like I said, if I was typing a email or minutes for a meeting or something like that and it was going out, I send. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be, there's not a second thought when you're working in corporate America or when you're working on your job in general. You got to send them recap or you got to evaluate a staff member or something. You automatically just send it and go out. But this new one, because it is about the evolution, basically of how the concerned human and just kind of the struggles that those conversations that I've gone through with people in corporate America, like I said, from paycheck to purpose, I definitely feel it, because it's like, hey, where is the judgment going to come from, or do people see it how I see it, or that type of thing? So I can definitely understand what you're saying. But I think because I went through the first one of you have to just put yourself out there, because at the end of the day, people are going to judge what they want to judge, and you know, they don't necessarily judge you in real life. So what's the difference in real life and the black and white sheet of paper type thing? So I can definitely understand where you're coming from, and you know, in that instance, definitely.
It is. But it's been an experience, a wonderful journey. I feel like I've kind of shed some weight and some things too, going through my book journey. I feel like it's a very therapeutic process as well.
Very much.
Yeah. And so what with this new book, what are you hoping the reader will get out of that?
The same things that I did in life in general. Just investing in yourself is so much more rewarding than waiting for others to invest in you. Because it's never them investing in you. It's always going to be a wait. It's always going to be not enough. It's always going to be the next thing. It's always going to be, you know, you think of it in terms of a promotion, right? You're going to do what you need to do because you know that next level you need to get to. And then you get to it, you celebrate for a little bit, and then you're like, okay, what's next? Okay, well, now I got to work and got to work and got to work. So when you're at the next level, you're either going to get it or you're going to be disappointed because the next person next to you got it, you know, that type of thing. So I want people to realize that, again, taking some of those wants and making them needs for yourself is so much more rewarding than just waiting for someone else to give you that validation. Self-validation and self-celebration can be so much better than waiting for that next person to do it. Because again, like I said, the work ethic is in me. When you're working for something, just like a promotion or like what we get, Christmas gifts and bonuses and stuff. You know, the little raffles and stuff. You know what's there. It's visual.
That's true.
So you see it and you're like, okay, I know what I need to do. When it's yourself and you have your own goals, it's visual because you know what you need to do. So I want people to understand that other people, when you're working for other people, that it's their goal. It's the work, it's the job's goal. It's not your goal. So you're working towards their goal, but you don't necessarily know the ins and outs of how to get there. When it's yourself, you know what you need to do. You know how you want it to look. You know how you want it to sound. You know how you want it to end. So you're going to work a little harder and do things a little different than you are just working for someone else's goal type thing. So.
No, I love that. I love that you advocate and empower people to invest in themselves. I feel like, you know, a lot of us, we kind of just go through life where we're doing what our parents have wanted. And then once we're out of our parents' house, we're kind of doing what our boss wants or our spouse wants. And it's the same for me. You know, I think I was 30. I give I'm older than that now, but it was when it took me to 30 years to finally be like, what does Carly want? What do I want? You know, my whole life, you know, being a preacher's kid and growing up in that Christian family, you know, it was always the expectations and what everybody else wanted. And then, you know, having to go to college and being like that first generation to really finish college, you know, so it was all these expectations, you know, and then to trying to satisfy what my partners at the time wanted, you know, what their expectations of me was. But it took till I was 30 to finally be like, what do I want? What makes me happy? You know, and it was such a shocking question in my head. I was like, wait, I never asked myself that. You know, and so since then, it's been some time now. I have invested in myself. You know, that's when I went back to school to work on my master's and doctorate. That's when I started taking just even little hobbies and classes. Like I wanted to learn to sew and improve on cooking and baking. You know, and all those little self-help journals.
Definitely,
you know,
definitely. I think as a community, and then just in general, anyone. You know, sometimes that we look at that have that structured home, right? It's always, you don't talk about it except for in the house. You don't talk about it to anybody else. You do what you're supposed to do. You don't get a job. You get a career. Your expectation is to get a career. Make sure the career has a 401k, a good health plan. Then you have, you know, you get married, you get engaged. You got to make sure it's the right person. You have your kids. You make sure your kids are settled and you take care of it. Like it's always this, you know, list of things that you're quote unquote supposed to do that we don't realize that people don't hit that. Like I said, some people it takes 30. Some people it takes where the matriarchs of the family have passed away. And now you create a different ideology for yourself. Like, okay, well, they've always told me to do this and they're not here. So now what do? I can't call them on the phone now to say, hey, I'm in this situation. What is it that I do? You know what I mean? So people create those different things. And it's a traumatic situation. It's where you lost a job and you hit rock bottom. It's where you end a relationship that necessarily was the person that took and told you what to do about everything. Like I said, a matriarch, you have those major milestones and then you're sitting there saying, okay, what am I supposed to do? This is what I've always done. But again, like your mom said, stay at the job for 30 some years. And I hate it, but but I got a good paycheck. I got a good health care. My kids are in school. But I'm just sitting here. I'm going through the motions. I'm just existing. I'm not thriving. So how do I thrive now? And then a lot of people, like you said, you're 30, 35, 40, and like, okay, well, I'm too old to start over at this point. I should have thought about this and had this conversation at 19, 20. And that's what stops them. And I want, and I hope when people read it that they realize that you don't have to have an age limit on your happiness. Like at any time, any date, any situation, you can be happy with yourself because there's no difference between a 20-year-old depressed person and a 50-year-old depressed person. The only difference is the bank account might be a little bit more, you know, a little bit more established to where they can afford to sit at home and be depressed and just send everything to the house, as opposed to the 20-year-old still got to get out. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's the only different. So be happy no matter what age it is.
I love that. I love that a lot. I think that there's a lot of unhappy people out here, especially, you know, into their 40s and 50s. And so I agree with you, you know, live your life, do the things that you enjoy. So we're going to go to our last commercial break of the evening, but everybody stay tuned as we wrap up Pink Table Talk with Kaptivator.
For divorce and family law in Texas, Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC will guide you every step of the way.
From initial consultation to detailed review of your case and strategic planning.
We'll sit with you during negotiations or mediations, and represent you in court.
Whether it is a family law, estate planning, or immigration, we will be there to guide through the final steps.
So, leave your legal matters behind you and embrace your future.
You can contact Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC at 346-5454-346 or visit DizonLawFirm.com.
Welcome back to Pink Table Talk. We've been having a very fun conversation with Kaptivator. So as we wrap up, Kaptivator, talk to us about your creative side. I know you do a lot of logos. You have made a logo for me, which I will be showing later this season. But you also do branding, jackets, all that. Talk to us about that in your creative process.
Definitely. Like I said, the Concerned Human started out as a person and it has evolved into a brand. As you can check the website out, the Concerned Human, the THA, want to make people understand it's not the concernedhuman.org. You will find multiple different things. If you have a business and you want to rebrand, if you have an idea, you don't know where to start in regards to marketing, things like that. I do that. I do logo design, web design. I do DJing, I do emceeing, photography. The main thing that it kind of drives the brand is the paraphernalia and customization of different clothing. So if you have a clothing logo, a clothing brand that you want to start, please let me know. I can assist with that. If you have anything, jackets, like I said, jacket is definitely made by me. Like I tell people all the time, if you aren't going to support your brand, then nobody else is going to take you serious and support it. So I always try to rock the Concerned Human wherever I can. But if you have your own brand that you want to get out there, marketing, all that good stuff, as well as if you are in a fraternity, sorority, anything, whether it's Divine Nine, non-collegiate, musical, whatever it is, and you just want some paraphernalia, anything custom, everything I do is custom. Everything is, you send me your ideas and I try to create your thoughts into, like I tell people, the art is the bridge. I'm just the concern between it. So definitely reach out, check the website, but anything that is everything, I can definitely tap into it and I enjoy it. That's part of the artistic side, that happiness. You take the wants into the needs, and it's just seeing people elated when they see the ending project is what drives me and drives the business basically.
Nice. Yes. For me, I had no idea what I wanted. I was like, just make me a logo. I was like, I don't know. It has to be pink. And, you know, I'm in healthcare and put a mic in there. And yeah, like we went back and forth a few times, but then you came up with something very unique and very cool, and I really like it. I can't create no logos. I'm not that. I have a lot of skills and things, but that part, no, that's not for me.
Understand.
Yeah. So talk to us about this jacket. This is so cool. I love all your little patches, all these things. Like, these are chakras?
Yes, they are the chakras.
Cool.
I try to definitely stay aligned in general. Life, it be lifing sometime, as we know. And at some point, you just got to stop for a second and like I said, invest in yourself. And sometimes investing in yourself is just breathing and taking a couple seconds and just kind of realigning with who you are. I keep somewhere on me, there's always Gamma Alpha Psi. I was number 14. I was the rock of our line, so I kept that. At some point, because they are if no one else believes in me, I can always count on a Gamma to show up to anything that I am doing. And I appreciate that more than anything. And it doesn't matter what state or location that I'm in. They will ask, what you doing? Where you got to be at? We're going to try to be there. So I always try to keep some sense of them around me at all times. This good old, I'm a Christian, I'm under construction. I'm like you. I come from a very wholesome Christian background, cousins, pastors, singing in the choir, all that good stuff. You was at church 3-4 times a week. I was on the revival committee, all that good stuff. But I understand that in my older age, like, yes, I will continue to trust in him, but I'm also under construction because those same ideologies aren't necessarily what drives me. Because again, it's okay to not be okay sometimes, type thing.
I like that.
And then just Black excellence, what I esteem for. I want to make sure I don't shy away from that with my business. I understand sometimes it can be a stigma with different businesses because people try to hide it. But at the end of the day, in this time, in this day and age, we need more Black excellence, right? We need a different standard than just what is okay. It needs to be above what is okay. And then the back of my jacket just has my logo, my brand, of my image that I keep on it. And then, like I said, the other one, Concern is the bridge, because it is. That's definitely what it is. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So what is the most strangest request that you have had to have a logo printed?
I don't think I've had anything strange yet. Most of the stuff is the normal banners, table runners, pop-up retractable banners on different things like that. I don't think I've had anything, a mural for a wall type in a building or studio. So nothing really crazy as of now. We'll see. It's still new, still a few years into it. We'll see. A couple years from now, I'm sure it'll get as the times go. Catch me in 2030, we might have some crazy stuff there. But yeah, nothing too crazy as of right now. Definitely. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And so if somebody wants to have a cool logo or a jacket made, where can they go for that?
All my services and everything as the brand. You can go to www.thaconcernedhuman. That's THA concernedhuman.org. And like I said, it has everything from my paraphernalia for the Concerned Human. It has paraphernalia that you can get or customized stuff, the DJing, the photography, the consulting. Anything has the book link on there as well. So anything that is The Concerned Human is on there. So you're welcome to do that. Or you can check me out on any of my social medias. I also try to keep examples on there because I understand people shop with their eyes. They don't necessarily shop with their ears. So yes, word of mouth is one thing. But when you can see visuals, it's a lot different. So Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you can see different examples of all the stuff as well.
Very nice. Very nice. Very cool. You guys definitely should go check her out. She has some really cool stuff on her website. Jackets. I even seen an umbrella. So I think that was pretty cool. And definitely a lot of Greek stuff. So if you're in the Greek world, definitely go to her for some beautiful and unique items. And so talk to us, what's upcoming? What's next for Kaptivator?
Continue to create, continue to expand. That is what I will be doing in my personal life. I'm always working on a project, always working on something, of course, trying to finish the book. And then just Gamma Alpha Psi in general. I'm an officer on multiple different committees, so I will always promote Gamma Alpha Psi in the community because, like I said, that is the way to be able to bridge the gap and just help people. Those certifications, like I said, the Chamber of Commerce, the 501c3, those different things help you expand in different avenues that necessarily the concerned human as a business person can't. So I will always be in the community. We always have stuff going on with
yes, y'all are busy.
Always.
Yes. And so that's so wonderful. I love you're pretty much a jack of all trades. You're very busy. When do you find me time with all of the things you're doing and involved in?
I've learned to schedule it.
Okay.
People are so adamant to schedule events.
Yes.
I learned that I will schedule me time. I will schedule weekends to where I will be on Do Not Disturb. I will schedule weekends where I'm saying, okay, this is not necessarily a weekend I'm going to work. I'm going to travel. I'm just going to sit at the house, or I'm just going to do this. And ever since I started doing that, it seems the craziest as ever. But ever since I started doing that, I realized that I'm able to realign. I'm able to get my own peace. I'm able to, treat it as, okay, now meat is a priority because I physically put it on the schedule. And it's not just a passing time of, oh, okay, well, I have today off, so I guess I'll have some me time type things. I'm intentionally scheduling it because I want to make sure that I'm telling myself that I am just as important as putting a meeting on my books. So I schedule me time and schedule time to definitely be off.
Yes, I like that. I like that the Do Not Disturb. I'm so afraid to do that. I'm like, no, that's when the world's going to come crashing down and I'm going to miss like 100 calls and emails. And but I definitely have been learning to schedule that me time, like my morning, like you said, in the morning, with my coffee, don't bother me. Like that first, I get up early, so I have the whole hour. Yes, I need that whole hour to kind of get myself in the right mindset for the day. And then the weekends I have stopped, answering a lot of emails and things like that. And really take myself offline, so to speak, for work. And it has helped, and I think that's great. And I love that you say you schedule it.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate it. It's been wonderful having you on, and continue doing all the great things that you're doing with your fraternity and your books coming out and everything. So when can we expect the book, the new one?
I'm shooting for my birthday in May. But life tells you when it's supposed to come out. It might be sooner, it might be later. I want to make sure that I want to put it out. It is quality work. And that it does what it needs to do. And it proves that point of it's okay to invest in yourself. So I'm shooting for May. I'm shooting for my birthday. But again, you never know how life does it. True. But other than that, like I said, I will remain busy. The business is always open unless I've scheduled an off day. And then I've always have, like I said, stuff going on with Gamma Alpha Psi. March, we have our flip flop, so you guys can look out for that. In May, we'll probably be doing something in Houston. In June, you can catch us for Founders for 20th years. We'll be celebrating 20 years, as well as the beginning of June. As the New Orleans Black Pride volunteer coordinator, I will be celebrating that for homecoming. So definitely you can check me out, come see me, come have fun, come tap in, come get a little concerned in your life. So
yes, I love it. I love it. That's so wonderful. Well, you guys definitely check her website out. And like I said, if you want some cool logos, jackets done, definitely go to her website and place those orders, and then look out for her upcoming book. And right now you can actually go check out her self-help book that is available on Amazon. Thank you all for watching tonight. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday at 7:00 Central on Lawin Media Network. And we're on all podcast platforms, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitch TV. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and have a good night.